Hi, everyone. This is Kate Nelson at Kansas State University with another SAFEKAW project update. In this video, I'll be talking about our preliminary analysis of some of the materials we got out of our fall 2023 stakeholder advisory group meeting. So at our fall stakeholder meeting, we spent a considerable amount of time talking about the importance of different components of the Kansas River Basin system, particularly as they relate to the future resilience of this highly agricultural area. As a brief reminder, we provided each participant with a simplified version of the system diagram that we developed during our 2022 stakeholder meeting. And then we asked everyone to rank each of the components in this diagram according to the level of importance that they felt belonged to each component. We collected all of these individual system diagrams, and then we tried to consolidate some of this information to identify priority levels for each of these system components. So in this first image here, we're showing the original system diagram that was given to each participant. And here, the different sizes of these filled colored bubbles indicates the number of participants, both on the research team and on the stakeholder team, that gave a component a top 10 ranking. So extreme precipitation and drought, which are shown here in red, were more consistently seen to be of high importance, while things such as livestock, human health, and water treatment were infrequently selected as top 10 system components. Now, in the second version of the system diagram, the different filled bubbles indicate the average rank value that was assigned to a component. So components such as water quality and water quantity, which are seen in the very center of the diagram, were on average seen to be of the highest importance to resilience of the system, while things such as aquatic habitat and nutrient management were seen as being of reduced importance. So part of our analysis includes examining differences in emphasis of concern for different system components that existed between the research team and the stakeholder team. So we had a small number of participants. So these are sort of qualitative assessments, but they generally suggest that the stakeholder group provides somewhat of a more balanced perspective on some of the importance of system components. In our researcher group output, we found that there was strong clustering of different types of system components by rank, which may be a reflection of different disciplinary emphases or siloing, as it's sometimes referred to. So at the end of the day, these kind of preliminary analysis here, the system diagramming activity and the conversations that followed, a lot of it suggested that the research team and the stakeholders generally see many of the same connections across components as important, and they generally agree on the relative importance of many of these components. Not all, but many. However, sometimes our ways of thinking about these components and connections varied. For example, researchers were initially, when we started this, less inclined to rate water quality highly. Instead, things like water quantity issues and hazards that influence water quality were emphasized. Similarly, some of the stakeholders were less inclined to rate some of the socioeconomic factors highly, but human responses and human action were seen as being highly important by the stakeholder group as well. So there was some just some different emphases on different kind of parts of the system, reflecting different ways of looking and thinking about the system. So one important point is that because we have a small number of participants, variations were very pronounced, even within the research group and the stakeholder advisory group results. And the differences that we can observe in the system diagrams that I showed earlier in this video are largely the result of instances where maybe only one or two people even ranked a component as being top 10 at all. But when they did, they ranked it very, very highly. So this means that the results of our system diagrams are highly dependent on exactly who was participating. But they also suggest that the diversity of perspectives that is provided across our research team and our stakeholder advisory group is providing these unique, non-redundant insight into the resilience of the Kansas River Basin system. Again, these are very preliminary findings. We're still processing additional information from the stakeholder meeting. Please feel free to reach out with any questions about the work, and we really appreciate your input. Happy holidays.